Hi friends, this is the basic things that you want to know about static spins when you do pole dance. First of all, when we talk about static spins, it means that the pole is standing still. It is not on spin. So right now my pole is standing still. That is why it's called static. A static spin would be something like, for example, your chair spin. This is your chair spin, right? There is a couple of things that you need to know about static spins. The first thing is that there's two ways you can do the spin around the pole. You can do it as a circle or you can do it as a clock. The reason I call it a clock because it's more like a pendulum on a big old clock. So you can either go in circles around it or you can go like this. I will show you the different. So this would be a circle. I go around in a circular movement. So it's like this. If I do it as a clock, it will be something like this. So I move like this around the pole. So this would be my circle. So it's much more, I don't know the English word. Let me know in the comments so I can get to know it. And that is like the two ways you can spin around the pole. In the beginning, I would never ever recommend you doing a clock. It is very cool when you get more advanced. You can do some crazy stuff with it. But as long as you are intro beginner, do circles and practice circles. There's one really important thing about it. And you also do want to remember this as soon as you start to learn more advanced spins. So actually go back to this video. When you're gonna go from beginner to intermediate, learning more advanced spins, go back to this video, rewatch it because you want to remember this. When you're doing a circle, holding your shoulder down is way easier because you don't have so much gravity pulling you down. So having your shoulder in the same direction is going to be easy for you. Not easy, but you get me. The thing is, when you do the clock, there is a big chance that you have a lot of power going in one direction. So what might happen is that you're here, your shoulder is nice, everything is good. You start your clock, and when you go out here, you go like this and losing your shoulder. I think that we can all agree, no matter our knowledge about anatomy, that going from here to like is not healthy to the shoulder. So if you want to do the clock, you want to make sure that you're able to keep holding your shoulder down, not losing the shoulder. So remember, circles are clocks. The next thing you want to know is how to create momentum, speed on the pole. It's all about the bigger the circle you make. The bigger the circle you make when starting up your spin, the more speed you're going to have on it. So for example, if I want to go into my chest spin, I'm in this position here. If I have my foot very far away from the pole and like keeping out as long as I can and keep holding it out, I will create speed. Where if I am having it closer to myself and doing a smaller, I'm going to have less speed and stop faster. And it might seem, in the beginning, I remember I was thinking like, why would you ever have no speed and go like this? And then I started to do flows, and it is actually insanely nice to know, I'm calling the speeder, to know like how far do I get around the pole depending on how far out I start with my legs. I know if I start all the way out, I will do about 2 rounds. If I start halfway, I will do 1 round. If I do like this, I will do half a round. So I know when I do a flow, that if I want to end up with the back to the mirror or the back to you guys, I know that like if I want to go here, do a full round, I know my speed is enough to end up in the right position. So getting to know yourself in your spin by knowing what's going to happen depending on how far out your leg is kind of fun. And it's going to make you feel way more in control of your static spins. So that is really cool. Also, if you do it too slow, you go in here, you will feel your arm and your wrist on the pole. So it's also gonna like tear up your skin a lot. But also when you do spins, and especially when you start to want to do more rounds, you're gonna destroy the skin on your wrist, and that's just part of the game. And last thing we're gonna talk about is feet and lines. I think in general in the pole dance world, there's a consensus that we should always have pointed feet. I don't agree. The thing that I agree with is that we should have an intention about what we want to do with our feet and have a reason behind it. So for example, pointing the feet will make a lot of sense when you do static spins. Because if you make sure to get up high on your toes, it's gonna look more effortless in the way like you're gonna spin. And also the fact that you're pulling yourself up here is gonna make it way easier to spin around. Compared to being down here, you can pull your knee a little bit. So it is like a safety thing on it. So for me, I like to do it as high as possible. The thing you do want to remember, no matter what your decision is, that you want to make sure that your heel is not touching the floor in the spins because it might harm your knees. The other thing you want to know about lines is how you're turning your hip is going to make a big difference. It's going to make a big difference. And this is like when you do static spins, but also when you start doing tricks on the pole. So I always make sure that I have my leg straightened out, but then I turn my hip a little bit to the side. Because for me, when I turn it to the side, my leg is going to appear longer. So there's a big difference between me being here and me opening up. I'm giving myself just an inch more of length to my leg when I'm doing like this. When you're straightening your leg to get a nice line, it's all about tensing up the muscle around the knee. So it's not like this, but it's really tensing up these muscles like and down through the toe. So when you go out, you want to turn, open the hip. You want to go out, 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 out. And then I like to go high on my toes because it's going to look aesthetically pleasing. So this compared to, for example, this, there's a big difference. But again, I feel like pole dance is a creative sport. So if you decide that you like flexed feet, just flex them with intention. So you do it on purpose. That is the only thing I'm asking of you. So I feel like you're ready to continue doing your static spins, and now you have even more info about it. And please let me know in the comment if this was helpful or if I missed anything. Is there anything more you need to know? And I will add it, and I will edit this. And I will edit as well. And I will edit as well. Okay, you guys, have a beautiful day.